you don't mind a little theater here. I'm walking out the door, realize I don't have anything red on, so I brought my red. These guys can tell you I wear this every day at practice. So this is common gear for me. This represents the Red Bandits. You like this, Chris? You got one of these? You got one of these? You got one of these?
That's
just the defense has got the bandanas. Red Bandits are the defense. Of course, there's a story written, and that's not part of this. But we had a very competitive game with Georgia State in Atlanta Saturday afternoon, and I think for a lot of people it was maybe more competitive than what they expected. I can't tell you that I was surprised, even though there was no basis in anything we saw. I mean, you assume that somebody that's the first time they's ever put a football team on the field is going to put a team on the field that lacks experience. There was a lot of experienced players out there and a lot of experienced coaches out there. And they were very prepared, and in fact had prepared some things for us, uniquely for us, that created some uncertainty. Quez was dealing with it most of the game, about how to just play assignment football, get a hat on everybody, and it really showed up in the running game. And so we ended up just not being able to have consistency offensively. I think A.J. could tell you that a couple of their receivers a little more than what we had them scouted as being. Would you say, A.J.? And we evaluated, for example, a quarterback who came to our camp, and if he had run a little better 40 time, we'd been trying to sign him. He was a good player. So we were challenged. Anybody that has that many penalties and has a turnover in a game like that is going to have a hard time really getting it done. And we've gone through some games here where we've done enough things to keep us from winning, and yet, and primarily because of Quez's directing last drives of the game, which I think is the best I've ever seen, any place I've ever been. We've been able to survive it. If we keep playing like this, we won't survive it. So hopefully we're going to become infected with a real passion to be something special in here. I mean, being ranked in the country like we are says that we have a chance to be. But we're going into our league right now, and anybody that's been around knows that we have 8 chances to lose a football game. We got 8 chances to win a football game. Historically, these games are very small margins of victory when we win them, and very small margins of defeat when we lose them, and those margins are affected, could be greatly affected by the things that we've not done very well. And if we continue to do them, we're going to find ourselves in trouble. What I'm saying to you, all the players know, they can just about recite what I just said. So we feel enormously challenged. Eastern Illinois is the only team on our schedule that we've got a losing record. And when I say we, I'm talking about in the tenure that I've been here, and the coaches and the players, we in our term, so to speak, is the only school that we have a losing record against. We're 3-4 against them. Last year it was a kicking game. They blocked a kick. They returned a kickoff for a touchdown. They recovered an onside kick. And I feel that we got out coached. I got out coached in that area. I've tried to tell people how unique Eastern Illinois is. Just because they're a long way from here, they are. You've got 2 Super Bowl coaches last year that both went to Eastern Illinois. You've got Mike Shanahan, who was there last night, who played for this guy and coached at Eastern Illinois, like Heimendinger. These are all friends of mine, people I've known. So I've been aware of Eastern Illinois. I mean, this is a football school now. I'm sure they can do other things too, but I think they come at us sometimes a little more than we expect, and I think under these circumstances where they're frustrated, I'm sure they're not used to being where they are right now. They can shift all their fortunes just how they play against us. So and we're going to get something different than what the team was doing before they got to us. It's going to be different, and we've just got to realize that defensively, I think they're as good as what they have been. Maybe short of a couple of players that they have, dominating players that they've had at a couple of positions. But, I saw them knocking Iowa backwards, for example. And they opened up with Iowa. Now, on offense, they haven't found their go-to people yet. But they have people. We didn't know who Ricks was last year, and he blocked a punt, returned a punt for a touchdown, and I mean, he almost single-handedly supplied margin of victory, and he wasn't in the scout report either. So players get a chance to prove who they are every week. Theirs do and ours do. Questions? Anybody?
Coach, you talked a lot, yesterday when we spoke and after the game about your special teams situations. What's the plan and all at this point to try to fix the inconsistencies on your special teams? And how daunting is that, considering Eastern Illinois, what they did to you last year on the special teams and what they have traditionally done with special teams?
Well, this is one reason I know news requires that you say things. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. It really was a 1 and 2. It wasn't total breakdown. It's a 1 or 2 out of 11 kind of situation. And we're going to deal with either changing people, and not because somebody isn't trying, but maybe they're not big enough or they're not fast enough. We're playing a lot of first-year players on those teams. Maybe they just can't get the speed and contact that we need to have. There's no reason why. I don't look at the film and see any reason why we can't be good in the special teams. We've had a 3-time All-American punter here. We've had an All-American kicker here. We have led the nation in kickoff returns. We set a national record, I think, in blocked punts. Craig A.J. led the nation in punt returns. There's hardly anything in the kicking game that we hadn't. Again, I think you may be talking about scattered pieces. I don't know who came up with that title. When I saw that, I said, well, y'all got it right, because I think in our kicking game right now, we don't lack the pieces, I don't think. But we don't have it all put together either. And if somebody were to say, why not? And this team looks a lot different to me right now than it did coming out of spring training from a personnel standpoint, for various reasons. Some of them were foreseeable and some of them weren't.
Do you have any update on the 4 kids that in the day that's passed on the 4?
No, I really think maybe that Corey is the only one that is going to. The medical review is critical to knowing. I think the others are on some kind of timeline, short or long, to be back with us. Relatively short or long to be back with us. But we've had a lot of guys, A.J. being one of them, and I don't know how many snaps he's had full speed this whole fall,
And then